Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Companion stars Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher. A weekend getaway turns bloody and violent when a subservient android that is built for a human companionship goes haywire. If you're one of those people that saw Elon Musk's robots and you asked the question, can I fuck it? Well, this is probably a movie for you. Going into this movie, I didn't know much about this. I saw the teaser trailer, and that was pretty much it. All I knew that the guy that's producing the movie directed Barbarian. I was like, all right, I like Barbarian. Jack Quaid, he's awesome. Sophie Thatcher, loved her in Heretic. Let's see what this movie's all about. Had no idea she was playing an android, and when that moment was revealed in the movie, I was like, oh my god, guys, she's an android, and everyone else apparently knew that because it's in the marketing. And that's kind of another thing I wish that like her being an android was like more hidden for the film and for the audiences instead of it being the whole marketing campaign for the movie that I clearly missed out on. It makes it even more shocking when you find out that she's an android and that really like she was programmed to be the perfect girlfriend for Jack Quaid's character. Even before knowing that Sophie Thatcher was playing an android, I really liked the dynamic between her and Jack Quaid. Like their chemistry with one another before everything kind of starts getting rocky was very great. I bought into the relationship. I even like the side characters in this movie. You have Patrick and Eli who play this gay couple, which really worked together. I thought their chemistry was really good in the film. The only one that kind of felt sidelined and kind of had no purpose was Kat or Kate, I don't know her. That's how forgettable her character is. So like this movie does a very good job at setting up these characters and getting you invested from the start. And when everything starts going down, when the big reveal happens, a lot of this film is trying to get Sophie Thatcher's character trying to escape this terrible situation that she is ended up in because she was programmed to kill somebody for for some money. Everything just starts building up, and I'm like, oh fuck, all right, Sophie Thatcher is now learning that she's like an android. Where are we gonna go with like when Sophie Thatcher figures out that she's an AI and like it sets and like there's a lot of dialogue between Jack Quaid and the group of real humans, conversation of like, well, what happens when an AI has full control of herself? Does she know her own strength? Does she not? And that's what they were kind of setting up. I was like, okay, we're gonna have some brutal killing scenes because she doesn't know what she really is. She doesn't know her capability. I was kind of expecting somewhat like really dark tension building up, or expecting like some form of scene like from Terminator, when Arnold walks up to the three guys that are looking over LA and nice day for a walk, like those type of guys, and next he punches through one of the guys in the chest, and next when he rips his arm out and blood is all over his hand and arm. I was expecting like that like hardcore type of violence in this movie. It doesn't do any of that. Eventually the movie kind of starts losing its way a tiny bit because the movie plays a little bit too safe, and mostly because it's trying to go for a different direction than I intentionally thought it was going in. The movie kind of plays around with this question of like, does an AI have feelings, or is it just a programming, which I found very interesting. And I really like that when they were focusing on that point. Like I'm totally fine with going down the route with an AI being confused on like, does it actually have feelings, or does it or is it just programming? But the movie went full on like, no, she clearly has feelings, like she clearly believes in that. And that's how really the movie loses me, because nothing really big of an impact really happens, or form of like character push really happens. So the movie's just very safe and very simple. It doesn't really do anything interesting. And next, this whole entire idea of like, oh no, she actually does have like feelings. And I was like, yeah. And there might be a lot of people upset. It's like, no, she truly does have feelings. I don't buy in that. Because she looks like a woman, acts like a woman, doesn't mean she is a real woman. Oh, I'm going to rephrase that real quick because that does not sound very good and can be taken out of context very bad. I'm going to use Terminator as another example. When Skynet took over the world and started killing all humans, it isn't because it felt humans were a threat. It was doing the thing that it was programmed to do, which was self-protecting. And so in that aspect, the programming technically did what it was supposed to do, but by executing all humans and killing all humans. So it was just a malfunction in the design of creating Skynet. It wasn't really Skynet coming self-aware. And again, that's where I was invested in the film, of like diving in a little bit more into that, of like the science side of the technology. But the film wants to throw that aside and be like, no, she has feelings. And it's like you're supposed to root for her, not Jack Quaid. And it's very bad of how he uses her. The one thing I did like about the movie as well is that it dives into how sometimes a human can be very vulnerable and want to feel that connection with somebody. The thing about Sophie Thatcher's character, Iris, the android, they were made to be a companion with another person. They were essentially a sex bot, a fuck bot, which is an actual line in the movie. So do not get mad at me for using that. And that brings up an interesting point of like, if you're really that desperate to feel some form of connection with something or someone, would you go, like, whenever this becomes like an actual thing, would you have sex with a robot just to feel some form of connection? I was like, that's like some actual deep dark, like that's some actual deep stuff. Even though we make jokes about it all the time, that is something that is actually kind of like sad and like depressing. And I was actually kind of feeling bad for Jack Quaid's character. Like everything about this movie is trying to make Jack Quaid the villain, and I'm like, he's really kind of not. Just throwing the murder part aside, yeah, totally awful. At the end of the day, he isn't really a bad person. Technically, Jack Quaid is just beating his own property. That actually sounds way worse now thinking about it. I feel like a lot of things I'm saying in this video can be taken out of context and, you know, put it into a bad way of saying it. It's like taking your own Xbox controller, really, or PlayStation controller, and basically breaking it because you got mad that you lost at Fortnite. So that's kind of what the movie is. And it sounds like I'm really bashing down on the film. At the end of the day, I did have an entertaining time with the movie. The movie is very funny. There's a lot of things that it could have dived into that it just simply didn't. Besides of like, hey, you cannot control me anymore. And a lot of it is hinting at, because Sophie Thatcher is playing a robot woman, it's simply, and next Jack Quaid is telling a robot woman what to do for his own needs, which is kind of symbolizing in a way of how men were used to able to treat women and tell them what to do all the time and all that. That's what the movie was really trying to go for, and I found that to be a not an interesting way to go about it. I'm going to give Companion a C+. I had a good time with the movie, but it does have an issue with not having a compelling narrative. That's what the problem really is with the movie. It's not very compelling, and at the end of the day, it is kind of like very forgettable, even though I was somewhat invested in all of the characters. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.